Wow. Such good shit.
Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching America's #1 cure for insomnia, the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast, which is, of course, the first episode of 2024. Hey! And with me are...
Jack Nyes from Jack Nyes Reviews.
This is Ninja Jupi or Jupi-chan or Wendy, your choice. And now I turn this over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that will always have the high shoes if I ever visit his place. Hint, hint. Johnny Rodriguez.
It's Johnny Rodriguez.
Yep, and right now Johnny looks like he wants to demand, like, $45 billion from Gotham, or he'll blow it up,
Oh my God.
You have 24 hours, Batman. So anyways, let's see here. Okay, guys, so they're going to be talking about our review of World's End, and of course, compare predictions and all that good stuff. This time I actually took notes, so I won't be saying I forgot. So there you go. And before we get there, I guess there's lots of brand news, lots of news there with New Japan Pro Wrestling and other things, Jack. If you could clue us in there.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, just give me 2 seconds. Hold on.
The only thing I do want to say real quick, because usually stuff that happens in Dynamite, I can't really mention or until we get there because it's an aftermath of the pay-per-view, but this was kind of separate, like nothing with World's End led to this. But in the regular Dynamite show, we got Diana Purrazzo, and she's officially signed. She's officially All Elite, so that's different. Let's see what happens, and let's see if Tony doesn't screw it up and all that good stuff. So, yeah, you have other news for us, Jack?
Yeah, the biggest thing that happened in New Japan Pro Wrestling, one of the biggest shocks, was the now free agent, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. He has made a bite for the now first ever global champion, which was the former IWGP US, then UK championship, in a triple threat between Jon Moxley, Will Ospreay, and David Finlay, leader of the Bullet Club. He actually beat them in the middle of the ring. And in order to do that, he also became the first ever global champion. And he got confrontational with the now, hold on, I can't remember what his new name is. But he got up in his face, spit in his face. They got into a fist fight altercation, or they, Nick Nemeth. That's his real name. He goes by Nick Nemeth. He got up in his face. He spit at him, and then Dolph was Nick was held back. Then during the press conference, David Finlay was talking, and Nick literally leaped at him and started fist fighting him and saying, "This is a world championship, a thing that I've not been able to hold on and grasp, and this is now where I make my stand." So he's officially New Japan. So Nick Nemeth, former Dolph Ziggler, is now part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Along with that, multiple titles changed hands, including with President Tanahashi, the now president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, becoming the New Japan World TV Champion, finally defeating the undefeated Zack Sabre Jr. That Kazuchika Okada defeated Bryan Danielson in a absolute slobber knocker, making their final bouts 1-1, making it dead even. And at the end of the match, they both Danielson got on his hands and knees and bowed to him, and Okada did the same, showing an ultimate sign of respect. Let's see, what else happened? A new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion was crowned, as Tetsuya Naito has dethroned Sonata. The New Japan Strong and IWGP Tag Champs were changed hands to GOD, El Phantasmo, and Hikuleo. Multiple different titles happened. That happened. Also, the other big news is in Stardom. Micah, the right hand of Donna Del Mondo, became the red belt. Stardom's top championship, became their top champion. And a few days later, at Stargate, which just aired on the 4th, Unfortunately, Julia officially announced the disbandment of Donna Del Mondo. It was an amicable breakup, which is pretty much all but guaranteed that Julia is somewhere else bound. On top of that, there's also multiple records that are proving that WWE is both interested in working in a working partnership with TNA Pro Wrestling and Stardom Pro Wrestling, a Wonder Ring Stardom. So there's a lot of interesting things coming around the pipeline.
Now with Nick Namath New Japan Pro Wrestling, I wonder if we're going to do something so he'll show up at Forbidden Door this year.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, considering his brother is a part of AEW's roster, there's a rumor that more than likely he could, considering New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't know what the relationship with AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling is as of right now. Now that they've unified into multiple companies together, I don't know what their working relationship is anymore, or if there's even going to be a Forbidden Door. It's kind of up in the air. So as of right now, it's, like I said, it's up to President Tanahashi, President Ace. I'm like, I just love that. He's the president. That's so awesome.
I know one thing about the relationship. New Japan Pro Wrestling gets to promote AEW all the time. Well, AEW says nothing because, hey, check out MJF's new scarf.
Oh, sad, man.
Yeah. Wasn't even a nice color. All right, guys. So with that note, let's get started with World's End. So the first match we had here was a dark match that was announced, last minute. So Jupes and I did a quick video on it, which is Willow Nightingale fighting against Chris Statlander, which is, of course, set up by Stokely, because Stokely, for whatever reason, wants to light a fire under both of them, start some kind of feud or whatever. And so let me see here. This time I actually took notes. Not many depending on the match, but, So let me see here. Well, I remember it was a pretty intense match. And one thing I remember, the women actually got into some kind of weird suplex contest where they both grappled each other and would not let go. So it was kind of like Willow was suplexing Chris, and then Chris was suplexing Willow, and sometimes it was like Willow would do two in a row, Chris would do two in a row, and it was just like suplex all over the place until they finally broke it and stuff. And there was a part where Willow picked up Chris Statlander, slammed her on the apron, which is of course very impressive because Chris Statlander is still a pretty big gal for Willow to pick up. There was a part where Chris also picked up Willow, which again is impressive. These are both rather large women, so seeing one pick up the other and body slam them is pretty impressive feat there. And in the end, Willow does get Chris in the Doctor Bomb and wins the match there. And for whatever reason, I guess it was like Stokely's plan or whatever, but for whatever reason, I guess Stokely was going for Chris more than Willow because he was very, very nosily pissed and whatever that Willow still won. And of course, Willow helped Chris up. They hugged. They still left as buddies. And Stokely is just like, he's just not happy. So it's kind of weird. It's like he wants to break them up, but it's like, I guess he's more on Chris's side than Willow's side or whatever. But yeah, there we go. So what do you guys think of the match?
Intense. That's all I can say about this match. It was just super intense. Like you said, that spot with them on the apron and stuff, oh jeez. To me, anything on the apron just seems crazy to do. But yeah, I just didn't understand what's his face, right? Okay, yeah, you got them in that match to fight one another, and what's the deal, man? What's going on? Why you look so pissed? Willow won. Why would anyone be pissed that Willow wins a match? I'm happy when Willow wins a match. Even if I like Chris Statlander too. No, but bottom line is I thought it was a good match, and I was entertained all the way through.
I don't really have much to say about the match. I mean, it was a good, solid match. Willow's stepping up her game and gotten a lot better. Chris is, she's all right. She's gotten a little better. But I'm just like, like I said, it was hard for me to get invested with it. I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's all right, cool. I'm like, to be fair, I cared more about that than the Hook match. So, that's not saying
Oh,
much. But that's more to do with like, oh, I like these two. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I do like Hook. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't give a shit about Yuta. Yeah, like I said, I mean, not much really to say. Just a pretty solid starter for the show. I think this actually probably should have been the ender of the pre-show, not the beginning of the pre-show. But that's just me.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. That would have been a good one.
hmm
But I gotta say though, for people having doubts and stuff about the women's wrestling, this was a very good match. This is the one that you kind of sort of point to, like, check it out, man. These are the women are all about in AEW to kind of get you, enticed to purchase the pay-per-view, because that's the whole point of the pre-show. Yeah, I think that match. You're right, Jack. That match should have been like the ender. I was surprised it was like in there so quick.
But I still say that the main issues that with the women's wrestling in AEW is not necessarily the matches themselves. It's the fact that it's hard to get invested in them because the stories are so weak, or there's like lack of story or reason behind them. And I think that's the main problem. Like most of the time is like, yes, I have a title. We're gonna fight for it, and that's like pretty much it, But with the guys' guys, they actually have storylines. They have feuds. They have Swerve breaking into Adam Page's house and terrorizing his baby. I mean, But the women is like, yes, let's fight because we all have boobs and Tony Khan said so. So that's how it works, right? That's the only stipulation for a women's match. You have TNA. That's how I feel about it.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, that's serious business, Wendy. It's kind of like, hey, so someone told me that your cup size is just a little bit bigger than mine. I got some words to say about that, and then they start fighting.
Yep, see, that's pretty much it. See, that's how Tony Khan books his women's match, books the women's division to me. So that's the problem. What did you think,
in this case, at least we got, the weirdness with Stokely and his beef and why he wants to split them up. So that's still a little bit better than just, hey, you got boobs, I got boobs, let's fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't watch Ring of Honor. When did they get associated? Is that a thing? Is Willow evil? Is Chris evil? Like, what's going on with that?
No, that's the thing. They're friends, but Stokely, for whatever reason, wants to start drama with them. He wants to keep provoking them to do this or that, and then this was like the culmination. This is like, if I can't get them fighting each other, I'll make them fight each other in the pre-show. But like, it's not working because despite them, they're still friends.
But why? Like, but I don't understand why he's trying to get them.
Yeah, I mean,
did they ever explain that? Did they ever explain it, or is it just like he's like?
It's probably.
I didn't know. I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's probably more on Collision and Rampage that I have no access to. So I don't know what the plot is. Because, like I said, I thought it was like he wanted to split them up both, but then, like in this case, it's obviously he's very angry that Chris lost as opposed to Willow losing. So I don't know. Maybe he just hates Willow, but it's weird. That's the hard part when I'm only watching half the show because I can't watch the other two. Because you know how it is. Some storylines. People say whatever, but some storylines are Rampage-ish and Collision-ish, and if you don't watch those, you're also kind of like,
Yeah.
Kind of like the Miro CJ Perry thing. I mean, I didn't know much of. I don't watch those shows, so. Anyways, your thoughts, Johnny?
Okay, so I do have to agree that in terms of women's wrestling in general and AEW, I think the storyline is very weak. Not much investment into it. And it feels more like, okay, great to see the women fight these matches, but there's really no like major backstory behind it. I mean, maybe a little bit with my mind's out of it.
The Sky Blue and
Anyway, I'm going to get straight to this match because, this is what we're talking about, this match in particular. I don't really remember
Willow and Chris.
Willow. Yeah, I don't remember too much about the match, but I do notice that Chris Stanlander, she's quite a powerhouse, and it was quite an intense match. And I don't know, a lot of people, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought that Chris would have still won this match. It was so impressive that Widow still remained the winner of this match. Like that's pretty awesome. And I did feel like it's a little weird they put this match first, but in a certain way, I kind of felt like it was okay that they had this as the first match as well, because it kind of gets people, I don't know, like in the mood, like, hey, like if this match is good, imagine what the pay-per-view is going to be like. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn between, like, I don't know if this match should have been put first, but at the same time, I kind of like it that was put first because it was like, let's just get right to it, you know?
I also kind of liked it because this was one of the first kind of pre-show matches where I actually cared and I wanted to just drop, get stuff ready because, sometimes you just don't care. I'll get my snacks ready while this starts, but this one, I really wanted everything done so I could be watching it the moment it started. I didn't want to miss it, I didn't want to be like the usual, I missed part of it because I was getting my snacks and stuff ready,
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I mean, it's a Willow match.
Huh?
I was like, yeah, because it's a Willow match.
Yeah. So now that I got back to my mindset, what I was trying to say is that the only women's match that I could think of that actually had a kind of a solid storyline, a little bit cheeky, a little bit silly, but the whole Athena storyline with
Billy Starks.
yeah, that was kind of good. That was still kind of a good storyline. I mean, at the end it was kind of stupid because it's like all that drama for none, because then they're back together like buddies. Like, okay, whatever. But at least for the time being, that was like one of the few women's matches I could think of that actually did had a good continuation. It did had a good storytelling.
All right. So for this one, it was a last minute thing, but yes, Johnny and Jupi started off going strong because they both went with Willow while Jack and I went with Chris. So there we go. And then we get the next dark match. It was a big one. I mean, next, what should I say, 0-hour match, what they're calling it now. We got a 20-man battle royale for the future AEW TNT championship match. And they didn't announce the wrestlers until like the actual event. And they had a couple of guys there. They had, the best friends. They had, I remember Kip Sapien was there. They had Dalton Castle there and a whole bunch of others that will be brought up here and there. So the notes that I took, and of course you guys are always free to add extra, things here and there.
They still work here.
Yeah. But the thing that we didn't, that got both of us kind of upset, or, whatever, mostly Jupes, is that, let me see here, that Dalton Castle was thrown out like right away. He was like literally the second guy thrown out. I think Dralistico, because Dralistico is like the jobber of jobbers. Dralistico is the first one thrown out, but then Dalton Castle is the second one thrown out. And we're like, dude, what the fuck, And then we had Archer there, and Rocky Romero socked him, and it was impressed that, kind of impressed that they socked him. Archer just stood there like really, dude? It didn't really affect him and stuff. So he started attacking him and everything. And in the end, the final four were Archer, Killswitch, Danhausen, and Trent. And near the end, Danhausen and Trent actually worked together to draw out Archer. But the big surprise is that while they're all, buddy, whatever, Trent actually grabs Danhausen and throws him out. Throws him outhausen. And but that's how it is. You know how it is. There can only be one. So the big thing is that the final two were Trent versus Killswitch. And I gotta say, this is one of the moments that I was actually kind of like hoping Trent would win, because it would be cool to have like that kind of a big win. Because Killswitch / Luchasaurus, you already know him and stuff, but it would have been kind of cool. He ended up fighting on the apron and stuff, and in the end, Killswitch shoulder tackles Trent off the ring, and he won the shot for the TNT title. And of course, that comes into play later on. That's the real reason why he won this. But because apparently this kind of title shot is something that's kind of like Money in the Bank. You can just cash in that title shot anytime, and that's going to factor in later on. So what do you guys think of the match? I was entertained. I liked it. And yeah, you know what? One thing is that the women's match was good, but I think the 20-man match, because it had all the people, that one either should have been the main event of the pre-show, or it should have been on the actual show. in my opinion. But I mean, that was entertaining. It's kind of cool. You get to see all the people there. Danhausen, finally, I get to see him in action after so long. It always seems like he's just more there just for the jokes and for the whatever, as opposed to actually wrestling. So it's kind of cool to see him back in the ring. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts?
They still work here.
Oh yeah, now this one, that's another thing. Since they didn't announce who was going to be in it, this one doesn't count in terms of the voting. None of us were able to vote because how can we vote for we don't know who's in there? You know what I mean? But anyways, opinions, amigos?
I mean, to be honest, it was kind of like I barely remember it. To be honest,
Yeah,
I remember like after Dalton
gonna forget.
after Dalton got thrown out, I was just kind of like after Dalton got thrown out, I was just kind of checked out mentally because I'm like, honestly, I was kind of hoping him, or if you're gonna have a battle royal, you could do one of two routes. Either you actually have a good story to tell with it, or just go crazy, give a shot to a guy who would never get a shot normally. So my mindset was either going to be, it's going to be some shenanigan bullshit, or it's going to be a guy who would normally never get an opportunity. That's why I'm like, oh, give it to Dalton, or give it to tell me how shocking it would have been if Danhausen had won.
No, God.
Think about really think about it. If Danhausen had won and whoever won that match, like he ends up fighting them, like you never know. I'm just saying it would have been a shock and no one would have expected it. And, could have, because the fact is like Danhausen has not won a single, like he's barely won any matches he's been in. He is a good, talented wrestler and his gimmick is super over, just like Dalton's. So it's like, use that. Like if you're going to, you already have the clown, you have the rainbow wig, you have the floppy shoes, you got the freaking suspenders. Just go full clown, guys. You've already got all the freaking, well, we don't want to put the red nose. That's a little too far. I'm like, bitch, you're already clown. Just put the fucking nose on. God damn. Like,
oh, dude.
That's my mentality. No, but you know what I mean, right? I mean, like, if you're going to go crazy, go crazy, But Prince didn't say, let's go crazy with precaution. No, he was like, let's go crazy. Let's go nuts. So do it. Let's do it. He wasn't
Imagine,
like with the proper precautions, you guys. It's like, no, he was like, let's go nuts. Woo. Like, can you imagine
the final two were Dalton Castle and Danhausen?
That's what I wanted.
Yes, see, that would have gotten more people going, what? The two guys who would never freaking get a shot, getting a shot, what? Like, then you could have done something with that, Yeah, like literally, you could hear the crowd just going, "Let's go, Dalton, Danhausen. Let's go, Dalton, Danhausen." Like the whole arena would go like that. Man, it would be awesome. Like I said, go full clown. If you're gonna go clown, go full clown. Don't half clown. No one likes a half clown.
Oh my god!
That's why everyone likes clown. It's like you either like clowns or you like mimes. No one likes a half mime or a half clown. Go full either way. So it's the point of it is my mentality was just kind of like, oh man, I was kind of hoping for anyone but the same guys you've had over and over again. Hell, I would have even been fine with Archer, to be honest. I would have been fine with Trent. Like you said, Trent would have been a great choice. I think it would have been interesting. Do something different. Like you have to do something different that the fans don't expect, especially with a battle royal or a ladder. Like do something that you don't expect to see and just go with it, Don't do predictable. No one wants to go see a movie that the outcome. That's why when they have movies that come out that give away every plot detail in the trailer, no one goes and sees it. It's the same principle. So just leave some crazy. Go. Like I said, go crazy. Have fun. But they missed an opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Jack on this one because Mark saw my reaction when Dalton got thrown out of the ring. I said, "What the? I mean, heck, what's going on here? Why is Dalton? No, I want him in the final four. And Danhausen, I wanted those two in the final four. I don't even care if they lost in the final four. I just wanted them to be there because I like those two. But no, had to come up with this cockamamie nonsense that played that role later on, which I still have mixed feelings on. Um, I'm sorry, but yeah, I really don't remember much about this whole match. Just that I was a little
Perturbed.
it made me feel some kind of way when a certain wrestler got thrown out like at the freaking beginning. Tony, I want to throw you in front of a car. Seriously, the car will not be moving because I don't want any, I don't want him to actually get hurt. But seriously, I want to throw him in front of something or throw him somewhere. I know to throw him in a lake with Moxley. I mean, seriously. Oh, hey, Johnny, how are you today?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really remember too much about this match. It's like those matches, there's just a whole bunch of shit going on all at once. It's hard to kind of keep track what the hell is actually going on. But yeah, I did notice that Dalton Castle lost right away. He got thrown out of the ring first thing of the match, and that's just what the hell, man? Why even put him there? He's gonna get thrown out that quickly.
Yeah, that was such a robbery.
Yeah, all the best friends get thrown out that fast.
I don't really remember too much about the match, but it's kind of I'm surprised these people still work there, that's the problem that Tony Khan has. There's a lot of good wrestlers, but they don't use them that often. So it's I almost feel that he just, he has them as his little action figures. So he reserves them for special occasions. So, okay, we're going to not have you guys wrestle a whole bunch, but we'll wait till the right moment appears at a pay-per-view, and then we'll start using you guys then. That's the way I feel about it.
He took them out of the toy chest.
Yeah.
Huh?
Like he took those other action figures out of the toy chest. Oh, that's right. I have these others here. Let's take them out. I want to play with all of them today.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, like I said, we didn't vote for this one because we had no idea who was going to be in it. So, So the next match we had here was Wheeler Yuta going up against Hook for the FTW championship with FTW rules, which is basically just hardcore with, weapons and stuff like that. And most of the notes I have, I don't have too many, but the first one was that the crowd was chanting, Utah sucks, and whatever. So there you go. We got
Wait,
Yeah.
Mark, wait. I thought that was me.
No, well, I'm sure you were chanting along with it. I think you were in the crowd. You were the one that started it. But anyways, there's a part where Utah bashes what's his name, Hook with a trash can that says FTW. Oh, trash lid, because they have certain things that had the FTW logo on it and everything. And in the end of all the destruction and fighting throughout the arena and all that kind of junk, Hook actually grabs a hockey stick and cracks it over Utah's back. And then he gets him in the red rum using the hockey stick around his neck to finally, to choke him, to make him submit and stuff. And yeah, and there you go. So Hook still won the match. And I mean, it was all right. I mean, it was entertaining because of the weapons. And I was entertained by the crowd's reaction to Utah because he's just getting old anymore with that. People just, I don't know, just don't like him and stuff. But yeah, that was the match. I still think that the 20-man battle royale, either the women's match or the battle royale should have been the main event of this, not this one. I understand it's a title match, but a title no one really cares about, so
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts, Jack, if any?
Not really much to say. I mean, I thought the finish was kind of cool, but it's kind of like at this point, I'm kind of like, I hate saying this. I'm kind of done putting my hopes up for Hook. Like it's been what, 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, and they're not doing shit with him. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just
but Jack, they give him all the chips he can eat.
I'm like, You know what what should have happened legitimately, I think would have been better. I was just thinking about something. Why wasn't Hook in the Continental Classic?
Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, they just had a tournament. And the whole point of a tournament is to build up a star/championship. So wouldn't it have made more sense to have Hook in there? Like have him, I mean, think about it. Could you imagine like Hook versus Swerve? That would have been a great match. Or hell, even Hook versus have Hook versus Kingston. Or Moxley. Even Moxley and him would have had I think him and Moxley would have had a great match.
It depends how comfortable Hook is with getting bladed though. Or getting
I mean, well, his son, well, to be fair, his dad is Taz. I'm pretty sure he's fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, his dad probably like, pass the gravy, son. Stab. Like, and he'd be like, Dad.
And instead of getting bladed, it's more like getting forked.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, exactly. So I'm just like, but like I said, they need to. These are two guys who are in the perpetual mid card, and I don't see them ever getting past it. At least not for another 5-6 years. The way they're booking them, I don't see within 5 years they're going to do anything with them.
Well, I mean, once they release the limited edition, fresh, like unopened package Hook action figure, I'm sure Tony Khan's going to finally do something.
They're going to wait until they're in their 40s and be like, all right, now's the time for the push.
Pull the trigger on them.
Oh, now pull the trigger. That's pretty much. I'm like, man, wasted potential, man. It's all like, but can we get Darby Allin to do a 20-foot drop in a wheelchair? Because we know he can't walk anymore. He'll be 60, like, I can still go. And he'd like make a makeshift wheelchair, but replace the wheels with 2 skateboards. His all wrinkly ass face with the freaking tattoos.
No, God.
I'm still punk rock, kids. Yeah.
Oh, God, you look so old. I'm only 40.
I'm only 37.
Oh, God. Your thoughts, Johnny?
Okay, about this match. Really not too invested about it because Wheeler Utah is just so bland and those rules matches, they get kind of boring after a while. I just like the fact that Hook actually defeated boring Wheeler Utah. And yeah, Hook's actually pretty good. I wish they would, I don't know, promote him more, like show up at more matches because again, Tony Khan doesn't know what to do with his wrestlers. But yeah, I mean, I think Hook's a good wrestler, and he should be, I don't know, more events more often. And I don't know, it's just the way I see it. But yeah, Wheeler Utah is super boring, and yeah, it's good that he got defeated. That's all I gotta say.
So for this one, all of us get a point. All of us went for Hook. None of us really saw or cared.
I didn't give my opinion.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, okay. Yeah, go for it, Wendy.
No, too busy laughing at all. Too busy laughing. Actually, I have no opinion. Utah's boring. Utah's boring.
Yeah, okay. Is that really all
potato chip bag has more personality. Okay, I'm done.
No, okay. So anyways, yeah, we all went for Hook. So everyone gets a point there. So there we go. So then the first match of the actual
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just thought of something. So this is just a quick question. Okay, so Yuta was kind of glorifying the fact that he loses all the time, right?
Yeah.
So that means he's going to continue that, right? I mean,
God.
I don't understand where they're trying to go with him in that regard. I mean, why are you glorifying the fact that you're a loser?
I know. And the bad thing too is that in most of the matches with the Blackpool Combat Cup, he's always the one that eats the pin.
Yeah, I
Has
just don't get
anyone ever
that.
seen-
Joking aside, I
Has
mean,
anyone
it seems weird.
has any I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to be like, oh, you knock me down, I'll keep getting back up. But that only works if you're successful. Like it only works if you progress, but the character doesn't progress. His wrestling doesn't progress. His wins. Sure, he's a pure champion, but he's a pure champion. Like he's basically a title holder for a third company of AEW, a secondary company for AEW. So he's not really like in AEW. He's still like essentially a loser. So it's kind of like more like that joke from anyone ever seen that comedy movie Kung Pao Enter the Fist where they dub over and make it really funny. And there's this one guy who keeps getting his ass kicked and he's like acting as though that makes him winning. It's like, haha, I am bleeding, making me the winner. it's like that. That's Wheeler Yuta. That's Wheeler Yuta. It's like he's fighting the main guy and the main guy just keeps kicking him in the face over and over again. It's like, ha, did you like my foot to face style? Haha, you fell right into my trap. And it's like, that's Yuta. It's like, I don't think, and the main character's like, I don't think you know what fighting is. Like, it's like that. That's Yuta. It's like, I get what you're trying to go for, but it's not working, buddy. He's like a character in like an airplane movie but in real life, like how they do and say the stupidest stuff, but straight faced. That's Yuta as a character. He's just like, don't call me Shirley. Like, it's like you're gonna. He's like the kind of character who would just go up to you. It's like, I'm gonna wrestle you to the ground, and I'm gonna take your belt, and I'm gonna do what I want with it. And you're like, what'd you say? Like what? Like he's like, yeah, that'll show you. I want you on top of me because I always get men on top of me, beating me nonsensically. And you're like, roll back? What? that's
No.
It's like I don't think you understood what you said, sir.
No. The reaction, no, you don't say that. What you say is, good night, everybody.
All right. Oh, whenever you guys are ready for the next one.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I was just curious what your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So next match we got here is the 8-man tag team match, which is, the whole random select match here. Jay Lethal, Brody King, Jay White, and Roosh going up against the Blackpool Combat Club. In this case, it's just Claudio and Brian, and Mark Briscoe and Daniel Garcia. So, it's a pretty crazy match. For whatever reason, Brody King seems to have like some beef with Daddy Magic, because Daddy Magic was doing guest commentary for that match, and he kept getting in his face and everything. I like how Daddy Magic kept acting like, getting all up and stuff like, yeah, you could really do something to Brody King, right? You know what I mean? That was kind of crazy. We got Daniel Garcia taking a lot of damage. His nose started bleeding. After a good while, Daniel Garcia finally gets a tag in Mark Briscoe. Briscoe does a fisherman bomb on Jay White, and Jay is noticeably doing most of the action for the team. And in the end, we got a part where Claudio was going up against Brody, and after trading shots, now this is like the new thing they're doing now. The crowd is chanting me every time they slap each other and stuff. Claudio did a big swing on Brody. There was Jay Lethal doing a figure 4 on Garcia, and Briscoe breaks it up with a cool elbow drop off the ropes. Daniel Garcia does a big suplex on Brody, which is a big thing considering the size and weight difference there. And Daniel Garcia actually pins Lethal and gets the win. And I guess when they're, the people lose or whatever, Brody finally gets in there and starts attacking Daddy Magic off camera, which is again another example of the cameraman being in the wrong place. You hear, oh my God, he hit him, and you don't see nothing. By the time the camera pans back, Brody King and them are already kind of leaving the area. So that was, another bad cameraman goof. So Daniel Garcia won the match for everyone. And while everyone else is like celebrating, getting their hands up in victory and stuff, Daniel Garcia just kind of like, I don't know, off to the side. He's all, I'm too good for you losers. He doesn't celebrate with them. He's just there on the side. So that's kind of noticeable. He's just kind of, I don't know. I guess he's kind of becoming a loner now. So he's no longer part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. And now he very sparing. He does the dance. He mostly just gets his hands up like he's gonna do it, and he stops because I'm no longer a sports entertainer, so I'm not doing the dance no more. Much to Jupi's disappointment.
Yeah, whole lot of disappointment.
But yeah, it was a pretty good match. It was entertaining. I mean, I got no complaints about it too much, except for that cameraman not showing that with the Daddy Magic stuff. But yeah, there we go. It was a pretty good match, pretty entertaining. And I like the whole Daniel Garcia, just his overall attitude and character. He always did look kind of like I don't want to say snobby person, but he always did look kind of like just an asshole type, sorta. Even with the Jericho thing, he was kind of sorta on his own too, So and especially with his previous matches with Utah, back when Utah was a bit more respected, he always had that kind of, I don't know, leave me alone, I'm doing my way kind of like attitude. So yeah, it kind of carries on here. We'll see how it goes.
To be honest, I might have missed most of this match. I think I was making food or something. To be honest, I was just like, when I saw this card, I was like, this is the most random assortment of jack-offs I've ever seen. What the fuck is Jay White doing with Brody King, Roosh, and Jay Lethal? Like, this is the most random combination of villains. This is like if you assembled a group of villains and then like you had like Lex Luthor, the Condiment King, Calendar Man, and Killer Croc, and you're like, what the fuck are you all doing together? Like, what the fuck are you? Why are you here? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that's kind of where I felt like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is the most random. I mean, at least like I kind of sort of understood the Blackpool Combat Club and like Garcia. I'm like, I guess, because it's like, oh, he's like an athlete. Okay, there's something there, but what the fuck did any? I'm like, well, is this called the wasted potential fatal 8-man tag? Is that what this is? Because this is what it feels like. I'm like, oh, let's see who's not used properly and should be. Let's put them all in a tag match. Round them up, boys. You're like, what the fuck?
You got Kenny Omega, you got Brian Hulk Hogan somehow, you got AJ Styles, and you got the Blue Meanie as a tag team.
Oh my God, what a combination.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I wonder who's going to win. It's like, I wonder who's going to win in this fight. I truly haven't the foggiest idea. When you have Daddy Magic on the commentary rooting for the good guys, and you're like, you done fucked up. I'm just saying, like this guy is like the most like weird character. It's like it would be like, it's kind of like if you go back to classic wrestling, it's like if JBL is rooting, or go back to early aughts wrestling, it's like JBL, who's a heel commentator, rooting for a good guy, and you're like, the fuck?
But Jack Knife, do you know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard?
No.
Getting beat up by
because,
Brody.
like I said, I'm literally just sitting here thinking, like, dude, I made it almost like, at first I was like, maybe I'm just being cynical, thinking, oh, they just don't know how to use Jay White properly. I'm like, no, it seems abundantly clear they really just hate Jay White. Like, it seems legitimate hatred to go from main eventing the last major pay-per-view, building up the storyline around it, having him get beaten by having challenged by not one but two crippled guys and still losing with weapons and a gang. Then entering into a tournament, and then just all of his cohorts just so happen to be off at the same time, having him get to the semifinals, and then shoehorning Jon Moxley, having Jon Moxley fuck him over, and then finally going to opening the show in an 8-man tag match with a bunch of people he's never wrestled with before. I'm literally like, wow, if this isn't like an army salute of middle fingers, I don't know what is. Like, come on, man. Like,
well, I mean, the thing is,
there's no-
Jay White's kryptonite is crippled people.
Oh.
I mean, if the opponent's in the wheelchair, he's fucked.
Oh.
No. The
So
sad
just
thing
looking
is
at so just looking at Roger Strong, he would have like just dropped right in the middle of the ring, right?
and that shows the testament to how shitty Tony Khan is. He took my favorite wrestler, my second favorite wrestler, and he turned him into a joke. And I'm like, fuck this place. So fuck this place, fuck this match. That's all I'll say.
I was like, whoa, don't hold back, Jack. Tell us how you really feel.
Hey, what match are we talking about? Oh yeah, that match. Oh, I forgot already. Oh yeah, the 8-man tag. Oh man. I don't recall having too many real feelings about this match except for the randomness of it. I mean, like of all the people that are paired up at the time we found out about it. But you know what? I want to say this. I do agree with you about Daniel Garcia. As much as I joke about the dancing thing, because like I say, I do like his dance. You know, it is a fun little gimmick. But oh hush. But no, but I kind of do like his attitude. Like he seems like the odd one out. You know, like not a lone wolf, but I kind of like that with his character and what they're doing and him after this point, because you know we saw the Dynamite after the pay-per-view, and I kind of liked him for how he was for that, you know, personality-wise, and it's like he's trying to distance himself away from the JAS and like trying to like make something of himself. So I think that's a good way of, you know, what they're trying to do with Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty cool. How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, in terms of the match itself, it's kind of like all over the place. You have all these wrestlers that really don't, I don't know, like, it's just weird. Like, the combination is very weird. In terms of Daniel Garcia, I do agree that his personality, it looks like he just wants to prove that he can actually be a good wrestler while having to be involved with all these people. I think that's what it is. And he might be a little bit of a loner and something like that. He always had a little bit of that type of personality. But in terms of this match, despite the fact that he got beat up quite a bit, it's very impressive how Daniel Garcia was still withstanding the line this match, and he was still a very good wrestler. And you know, the fact that he won this match, you know, it's showing something. It proves that Daniel Garcia is a really good wrestler, and hopefully they'll keep going with this direction with Daniel Garcia. And yes, I did feel a little weird that, okay, like I know that his dance is a little silly, but it still looks weird that he's like not dancing at all. Like not even once. He's just like, then whatever. It's kind of like he wants to do the dance, but then he's like, whatever, I'm not gonna do the dance. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Is that an AEW hat you're wearing, Johnny?
Huh?
That AEW hat?
Yeah, it's the AEW cap.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yep. I think that's one.
And I have Ultimate Warrior shirt. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior, not the Ultimate Warrior, you know, the Sting shirt. Like,
yeah, the classic stuff. Yeah, Jack's got a pretty cool shirt on too, which shows a certain event that happened recently. Wrestling. Yep, doing
Hell
$1
froze
million.
over.
That was $1 million laugh right there, $1 million man laugh right there, Jack.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's probably Triple H's laugh because he knows the money's gonna be raking in. With okay, so anyways, and this one here, none of us got a point. We all went for the Blackpool Combat Club, so I guess we're even. No one got a point there. So the next match we got here was Andrade Idolo, which is I guess his last match. He did officially announce he's parting ways with AEW, going up against Miro with the whole storyline of, you know, with CJ Parker, aka Lana, being an Andrade side. And, you know, Miro wants to prevent her from getting some of that Latino heat, you know. So let me check out some of the Anybody got any notes on this here?
Hey, now everyone should be liking some Latino heat. I mean,
Yeah.
come on now.
Okay. So let's see here. So one of the things was that Andrade actually did like a diving moonsault press, but he missed. Miro kind of rolled out of the way or something, but it didn't matter because Andrade did a second flip and he lands on Miro that time. And then surprisingly, there was a part where I believe like CJ Parker grabbed Andrade's leg or something from the ring, so it shows that she's also on Miro's side. What can I say? Despite how it looks, I think that what can I say? Andrade had Miro in a dragon screw, and it looked bad. It looked like Miro couldn't get out of it. But yeah, CJ grabbed his leg and whatever, and that's helping Miro. Miro's a bit confused by that. And then in the end, Miro gets Andrade into game over, and he taps out, and Miro wins. And it's just kind of confusing because CJ Parker is like clapping and supporting him, while Miro's kind of like, what? Even though that's what he wanted, you know what I mean? So that was kind of a weird way to end it. I would have preferred that they, I don't know about hug, because that's too cheesy, but at least just walk out with holding, I don't know about holding hands, but you know what I mean? Walking out together that shows that they're, I guess reconciled or something like that. You know what I mean? Either that or have Miro grab the microphone and be like, yes, Andrade Idolo has been redeemed, and now I shall go in the back and I shall satisfy my wife and all that. Maybe that would have been the way to end the match there. But yeah, Andrade's heading out, and we don't know if he's probably going back to WWE. I felt that after his feud with at the time called Aleister Black, after NXT, once he came to the main roster, they weren't really doing all that much with him and stuff. So I don't know, like to go back to WWE and everything. But we'll see how that goes. Any thoughts, guys?
I'm trying to remember the match. I do remember that the spot you mentioned about what's your name, pulling what's his face away, but with CJ pulling what's his face away, but I just thought the ending of the match was a little weird from what I recall or how I was feeling at the time. But outside of that, I don't have
felt like I want my wife back. I want my wife back. Wait a minute, wait. My wife wants me back? Huh? It was just weird.
Yeah, it was, and that's about all that really stood out to me, which is kind of bad because it should be about the moves pulled off in the match. But yeah, it was just that finish that was just odd.
It's like, imagine Macho Man back then, having a match with Hogan because he believes Hogan's messing around with Miss Elizabeth or whatever. There's like a match for her respect or whatever. And in the end, Macho Man wins. And in the end, Elizabeth hugs Macho Man and Macho Man's like, "Nani?" Like, even though that was the whole point, you know what I mean?
And then he snaps into a Slim Jim. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I'm just utterly shocked. I'm surprised no one is as shocked as me that AEW ended a stupid storyline with no resolution. Are you trying to tell me that they built up an entire story and just dropped it like it didn't matter in AEW of all places? That's
well,
not.
The thing
That's
is that Tony Khan is a fan of Snoop Dogg, so he gets these storylines, then he drops it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot,
Oh my gosh.
Like I said, these two guys have a lot of athleticism. No, but it's literally exactly what I said. It's like, oh my God, an unresolved storyline in AEW? That's not possible. And it's an even dumb storyline ended with no resolution? That's also not possible. What next? You're going to tell me that they're going to book women to wrestle with no buildup or predication?
Gasp.
Come on, guys. That's gasp. Come on. I mean, they can't look. You guys, we got to give Tony we got to give him some credit. He just doesn't have the time to write an actual competent story because he's too busy writing chapter 83 of MJF on how to actually make the proper grilled cheese. Like, they need to focus their attention. They need more chapters, volumes, encyclopedias about MJF's story. And I'm sorry, it's just those are the priorities, guys. I mean, we could build characters, wrestlers, stories, and actual athleticism and focus more on the actual competition that people want to see. But remember, this is all elite MJF. This is all elite stupid storylines. I'm sorry. All elite wrestling. My bad. Sorry. Fool on me for thinking they were going to focus on wrestling in a wrestling company. I'm the dumbass. My bad. But honestly, the match itself was just, it was, I mean, like I said, it was pretty solid. It's two wrestlers wrestling. Like, I love Andrade. I think he's one of the best, one of the most underrated luchadors. Guy's a multi-year veteran. Hopefully goes somewhere that's used his talent, that will use his talents. That's,
Well,
I mean,
do
it's
you
the
have
same.
any theories where he might go?
I think honestly, he's either going to go back to CMLL, or he might honestly go back to he might go to New Japan.
Oh.
I honestly think he could be used proper in New Japan, or I mean, now that Hunter's in charge and he's focusing more on his old crew who were underutilized in NXT, from NXT to Raw, he could go to WWE. Who knows? I really don't know. I mean, I just know wherever he's going to be, it's better than where he was. That's is all I know. Because even mid-card in a big promotion is still better than no card in this promotion.
Hey, how about you, Johnny?
Okay, so the match itself, it was so a good match. It was so, for what it's worth, it was so a good match. It's, very intense because, you have CJ as the referee, not the referee, I mean, as Andrade's manager, and it's that whole, like, jealousy issue to Miro's, like seeing his wife with Andrade and Idolo, that kind of thing. But the storyline, like, the match isn't too bad, but the storyline itself, like, the reason why this match happened is so freaking stupid. It is so dumb. It's like, I don't know, guys. Just the whole thing is stupid. And it's kind of a bummer that this was actually Andrade's last match. Like, this is the way it ended for him. Like, damn, like, shit. Like, I'm with you, Jack. Wherever he goes, they're probably gonna promote him like way better than what AEW has done with Andrade Idolo. Because, like, for this to be his final match, and he lost by Miro, that with the cheating, like, I don't know, it's just kind of like, whatever. But the match isn't bad itself, but it's just storyline behind the match is so stupid. It's just dumb.
Well, the thing is, in this case, he kind of had to lose, because if he's leaving anyway, it wouldn't make sense for him to, like, win and stay with CJ Parker. He'll just be mysteriously missing at next weekend Collision.
Losing,
why,
but
he kind of had to lose.
Losing, but in a better match with a better storytelling, not this.
Yeah, I know. I feel Andrade just, I don't know. Like, when they brought him in, I like the presentation when he was dressed up like the Black Mask and stuff, coming down the ring. But, like, they wasted so much time with him being involved with Matt Hardy and his weird, HFO Productions or whatever the fuck it was called and stuff like that. And it just took a while. And then, like, when Roosh came in, I mean, Roosh is just so awesome. He just helped himself. I know it was kind of to help elevate Andrade, kind of like a tag team or something, but, Roosh just got all the attention anyways. So, I don't know, man. They fumbled it with Andrade. I think what happened is that they shouldn't have
didn't know
whistled
what
that
to
time
do
of
with him.
party. Yeah, so let me see how the like what Ricky Rocks used to say, see what the over under is on this one. Because I kind of forgot. Okay, so I went with Miro and Jupi went with Miro, and then everyone else went for for Andrade. So let me get that. So far, Jupi and I are in the lead. So we'll see what happens. So then the next match we got here is one of the good ones, of course. We got Riho going up against Timeless, Tony Storm with Luther there, loitering. So let me see how any notes I might have gotten with this one.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
so let's see here. Oh God. Okay, so one part that was memorable was the part where Riho was doing one of her like dives off the apron, and surprisingly Luther catches her, but obviously you know how it is, he can't do anything to her, referee's watching, whatever. So he like that kind of, I guess, poking fun at just how pint-sized Riho is. Luther catches her and just passes her over to Tony, and Tony Storm just grabs her and fucking scoop slams her and everything.
Yeah.
And there was a part where I think like Rio's on the apron or something, so Luther had Tony on let me see, how was it? Like he was picking up Tony or something and helped her so that she could grab Riho from up there and slam her onto the apron and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a decent match. I forgot any other detail, but I do know that of course the timeless Tony Storm won and kept her title. I believe Mariah came in maybe near the end, but I don't think she did any cheating. She just came in the end to celebrate, throw some roses and stuff like that. So she didn't really interfere in the match, but she did appear to celebrate the victory of Tony Storm. And it sounds like Rio's maybe she's going back to Japan. I heard a lot of people back then say that the reason Rio was brought in was, I guess, to be here for a bit, but after this match, like since everyone kind of thought, we all think it's too soon for Tony to drop her title, that Riho would have just gone back to Japan afterwards, and it sounds like that's exactly what happened. Any thoughts on the match, guys?
Not so much. Not really. I mean, honestly, it was just kind of a pretty solid match between two former Stardom alumni. Yeah, I like that it had a good amount of comic story, or at least build. I love that Tony's gimmick style is following in the old school NWA women's wrestling style, which I love. I also like the whole, silent aesthetic. Riho, I think what they're trying to do is have her come back to be a TJPW representative because they don't necessarily have one as of right now, because most of TJPW is basically like the rookie brand of Joshi women's wrestling, of Joshi Puro Rasu. So they have to they need like a veteran presence other than the trainers who has like some sort of star appeal to like be a representative. And considering she was one of their biggest stars they ever had, I mean, it would make sense for her to go back, and especially now that they're doing this whole united Japanese front of wrestling. At least that's my assumption of why she's going back. I think they're doing something like that. Yeah, I mean, Rio's very talented. Tony's very talented. Solid, decent, somewhat short, but decent match. Yeah, not really much to write home about, Nothing good, nothing bad. Just, okay, this is a good match. It was a decent match. All right, cool.
Yeah, I have to agree with Jack on that one. The match was all right, Nothing, yeah, it did entertain me, so no issue there. I still like Tony's how Tony carries herself. I mean, you can't help but laugh at that. It's just so funny. I was like, I'm just waiting for her to start talking about some old stars every once in a while, how she rub elbows with the elites like Betty Davis and Joan Crawford and and all those people, or Hedy Lamour. I don't know.
I would say one thing she did that did make me laugh, and I saw this online, was she kind of trolled. She trolled at the press conference, but it made me laugh my ass off, where she said, there is currently a free female wrestling agent out there, and I intend to call them out by name. And I want them in the ring to fight me one-on-one. And she looks at the camera and she goes, Wendy Richter.
Oh yeah.
Like fucking, because I ever thought she was talking about Mercedes Moné. I ever thought she was Mercedes Moné. I'm like, oh my God, Wendy Richter. I was like, oh my God, she made a Wendy Richter joke. Because Wendy Richter retired from wrestling. Yeah, she's like, I will fuck you up. And I'm like, oh my God, Wendy Richter retired from wrestling in 1982. I was like, before she was even born. I was like, oh, it's so funny. I love it. I was like dying laughing. I would laugh so hard if Wendy Richter actually showed up. And I would be like, you rang? Like, I would be like, oh my God. I would be
No. Actually,
but
like,
anyway.
like the way Tony drops the title whenever the time comes, it's because Wendy Richter shows up and trips her or something, like grabs her leg or something.
Right.
No. I was
Just
saying you'd be dressed up like what that spider character or whatever, like Moolah was dressed as.
Yeah.
You know, and
Oh yeah.
time over.
The Spider Woman, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. The match, like I said, it was all right. Johnny, what'd you think?
Okay. About this match, nothing too much to say. It was just an impressive match, you know. It shows how, you know, talented both Toni Storm and Riho is in this match. But I would have to say that in this match in particular, Toni Storm really is a powerhouse, and she pretty much overpowered Riho in so many instances. So it was kind of like a no-brainer that Toni Storm won this match. And of course, she, though, I just love her gimmick, her Hollywood glamour gimmick, you know, like the old school style. Like, I like how when she wins, like the screen turns black and white, and then what's her name? Luther shows up and she starts putting flowers, and then they put flowers all over the ring, and then Toni Storm like is resting with the flowers like on the ring, like that. That's kind of funny. But yeah, I kind of like what they're doing with Toni Storm in general, and it was a nice match, it was a good match.
I think what would be making it really funny is if they got Luther to say in like a butlery things that like a butler would never say. Like she'd be like, I am going to go out there and beat everybody. And then he'd just be like a motherfucking boss, madam. Like I would be dying laughing so hard. Like just full, like I said, I keep saying it, go full clown. Go full clown.
I would love that.
Oh man! So for this one,
You got shoe.
Yep. Oh God, your shoe, madame. You know. But anyways, what can I say? Yeah, everyone gets a point because everyone went for Toni Storm. I think none of us really thought Rio was gonna win this one and everything. But there you go. So the next match here was kind of a surprise. Let me see if I got it here. Yeah, it was pretty much well, originally it was supposed to be Swerve versus Keith Lee. But Keith Lee was, I believe, injured or so and couldn't be cleared in time. So we got Dustin Rhodes, the natural, to take his place, which kind of sort of makes sense because for a while there, they were both a tag team. The Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee were a tag team. So kind of, you know, we could use that angle where Swerve will injure Dustin to further piss off Keith Lee, you know, that kind of thing. So near the beginning of the match, Prince Nana with his, you know, he did a bit of a bad dancing because he grabbed Dustin Rhodes' leg on like I think on the cinder block while Swerve like stomped on it, you know, smashing the cinder block and everything. So then we had the thing where now Dustin has a bad leg for the rest of the match. But after that though, it's kind of surprising because despite the fact that many people feel that Dustin was low on the card and he also got like, you know, his leg busted or his ankle busted so early in the match still went on like a good 9 or so minutes afterwards. Dustin was still, you know, kind of sort of putting Swerve through his paces. It wasn't exactly what I would call a swatch, but Swerve did win the match in the end, and there you go. And I mean, all I can say is that Dustin put on a decent match. You know, it's good to see him again because I even forget that he, you know, still works here. And also because, because he did appear a lot on Dark and Dark Elevation and stuff. So without those shows, we don't see him that much on TV anymore. So it is cool to see him there. It is cool to still see him do a couple of moves. Part of me kind of wanted him to win or something, a little bit. You just, I don't really, I don't know. I guess you could say that similar to Jay White with MJF. I guess if Dustin did win, people would have used that against Swerve and say that sucks. But I don't know. I just wish Dustin had like one final run before he officially gives it up. But I guess he's just kind of there to enhance talent. But yeah, Swerve won. He's on top. He's badass. And hopefully, whenever Keith Lee recovers, we'll have a match between the two of them and stuff. And I do want to say, in the episode of Dynamite, we finally got to see Swerve doing the dance off with Daniel Garcia, even though that was like the exception. That was when Daniel actually brought the dance back a little bit just to get off against Swerve, But yeah,
I loved it.
match. Now for this one, I don't know if we should count the voting or not, because obviously we were voting for Keith Lee versus Swerve and not versus Dustin. So we could
I
probably
think
start
it
that one
shouldn't
off the
count.
record.
This one really shouldn't count because they changed it last minute and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think we should. Yeah, we should either. I think we should count like these sort of things as like a half point. You know what I mean? Because this is like a to be determined kind of thing. So it's like, well, whoever wins will get a half point. You know what I mean? Like if you voted for the right guy, because
Yeah.
or no, actually, you know what? With this situation, yeah, I agree. No point.
Yeah, the thing is, like for example, if it was like a big 20 match, whatever, and we actually have more half points. If the half points is gonna be there, you know what I mean? They're like you won't get a second point to make it a full point down the line. So yeah, we'll just strike.
Right. Yeah. Just strike that point. Yeah.
Okay.
I think also with that and whenever there's like, I think we shouldn't do that or I don't know. Like
Yeah, like those 20 men, like this one that we didn't know who the 20 men were. So how are we able?
Yeah, I was thinking about like those or like matches that if they have like storyline title changes like within an instant, like those sort of things. I think like that's kind of unfair because it's like, I mean, you could, but I don't know. Anyway, go on.
Oh, you guys go on. You guys give me your match.
I do think, yeah, there was no reason for it to go on after he shattered his ankle or whatever. I did think that, like I said, I think they should have just cut the card. As soon as they knew Keith Lee was injured, I think they should have just taken this off the card. And then what they could have done instead was, I don't know. Put the tag titles on the line or put the trios title on the line or something. I don't know. I mean, aren't the Acclaim back? Couldn't they have put them on the card? I don't know. Didn't they just come back or some shit?
They're around.
Yeah, and they got those stupid belts, so those Pepto-Bismol belts. So just replace the card, have the Pepto-Bismol tummy belts on the line, and then just have an open challenge, and then put a trio together, and boom, match solved. Like, who cares, You could have just done that, and then you could have had like freaking, I don't know, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and I don't know, Jeff Hardy's arrest record. I don't fucking know. Just have those 6 fight. Let's see. Let's be honest. His arrest record would probably do a better job than Jeff Hardy would in the ring. Oh no!
Oh, that evil man.
Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. I'm just like, who cares? Like, honestly, I was like, same way I feel about Jay is the same way I feel about Strickland. Wasted talent, waste of time. That's it. Waste of talent, waste of time. And I'm just like, okay, I guess we're letting this happen. The way I feel about Swerve's booking and Jay's booking is the way I feel about being like going to the mall and then I'm like just at the mall and then I'm next to a store that's being broken into. And I'm just like, okay. And then just everyone just looking around and watching it, have their phones out like this, like, and I'm like, okay, all right, I guess we're just letting this happen. Okay. Like, that's me. I'm like, okay, I guess. All right. Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like, all right. So yeah, I guess we're just letting this happen. That's my mentality. And, like I said, hopefully they do something with Swerve, but I don't know if they will or not.
So, Jack, you were saying that you think the match should have ended like, right after he shattered his ankle, the ankle shot, right?
Yeah, I mean, it made no sense because wasn't it like didn't he hit him with like a cinder block or some shit?
Yeah, he set it up. He set his leg his leg was set up like on the cinder block, and he kind of jumped down on it, and that hurt his ankle. And they were trying to help him out of the ring. And all right, so Dustin would have a couple of words for you, right?
Oh yeah, we'll get to that after we talk. After that, we'll talk about like that was the funny thing is that he got so butthurt. For those who don't know, a fan commented, said, match shouldn't have lasted more than 5 minutes with Swerve. And that's what he was saying. He was referring to the actual in-storyline of, you used a cinder block and went another 9 minutes. And Dustin took that as you just saying I can't wrestle. I'm like, okay, boomer. Calm the fuck down.
I like that. And Dustin's like, fuck you. And then another dude was like, what?
Yeah.
You have opinions? No, fuck you too. Like, it just made me laugh.
Yeah, I'm like, it was like, I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow, dude. You've been in the industry for, as everyone's pointed out, he's been in the industry for five decades. But apparently, something that we all learned over the course of seeing those tweets is all those years of gold paint has made his skin so insanely paper thin because he cannot take any insult in any way, shape, or form, which is hilarious because he grew up in the territories. Like, dude, you were wrestling at a time when literally people were getting stabbed because they didn't like them, and now you're like, that's so mean. I'm like, man, what a bitch. I'm sorry to say that. I hate saying that. I'm not for bullying, but like to get that defensive over someone saying something so like if it was something insulting, like about him, like him, if he would have said, if the guy had said online and gone, man, Dustin, you shouldn't get in the ring, you old fart. I'll be like, okay, fair enough. He didn't even say anything insulting about him. He was just talking about like the story of the match that you just wrestled. I'm like, are we just going to glance over the cinder block thing when we literally at the last main event, the very last main event of the last pay-per-view was a whole storyline that two guys knocked out a dude's ankle and he was out for the whole show except for the main event. Like, it's like someone going to see, like, it's imagine someone going to see Guns N' Roses and then someone going, play Sweet Child of Mine. And he's like, fuck you. What, do you think I'm going to play that song? It's like, yeah, that's Guns N' Roses. That's your shit.
Jay White, like, relaxing, and it's like, okay, who's my next opponent? It's going to be Dustin Rhodes. Whatever. They just busted his leg with a cinder block, and he's hobbling over. Oh, fuck. You know what I mean? Just to cripple people. Oh, shit. They put that knee from Get Out with all the sweat.
Oh, no.
This narrative is getting old. How dare you? Anyway. I just, like I said, it's just stupid to get that angry over something so stupid. Like, I would get it if it was something important, but it was literally a nothing burger and he got so butthurt. I'm like, it's funny because his online comment was more interesting than the actual match.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
My reaction when seeing Dustin for this match, set up for this match, I was like, wait, he still works here? I hate to say that, but I thought he was like, like officially kind of sort of retired after all the stuff he did with Cody, and he was just like backstage stuff. But they brought him out, said, okay. But then that beginning, I was thinking the same thing. Where he hurt himself, so obviously he won't be able to wrestle. And I was thinking about like when Big Show was when they did that match with Ben and they had to use Big Show for it, and he got like body slammed by Hobbs, I think it was. And then all of a sudden, like, Big Show is out. Big Show is out. Medics are taking him out. I thought that was going to be it, and then Swerve just automatically wins or something. Because it didn't really make sense to have that spot that early on and then have the match continue as opposed to them going at it for a while and then having that spot and then, because it didn't make sense to have it at the beginning. So I just thought it was weird, that whole setup. I mean, I know they needed something, but they could have replaced it with something, probably, or put Swerve against a jobber instead of someone as established as Dustin. I mean, just to show off, like, somebody's skill. I mean, they knew Keith Lee was injured before this point, so why didn't they have like a backup plan? And I always figured that, huh?
Versus Danhausen,
Anything you Danhausen, they could put Danhausen in there. Oh no, I don't know. No. I don't want Danhausen losing that bad. Oh, I'm trying to think of somebody bad losing. That's why I said put it in jobber, So, an undercarder just to show off their skill or something. Get the hey, let me go through my toy chest. Use this one, yeah. Hey, you. I'm going to use you for this Swerve match, but you got to lose, but you got to last for at least 10 minutes because I got to fill up the card.
Or double or triple it down and like have Swerve go, I'm going to challenge Jon Moxley. Little girl. Like, you're like, what? It's like, because like the way he's like, I'm like, I still can't get over how he's like, that stupid spot of the feud with Adam Page, and he's like the freaking crib set up, like, oh my god, it was so stupid. I'm like, so what, are you just gonna go after, and literally you should just be like, who's got a child? You come on out and wrestle. Like him just taking out
Swerve is gonna be in the sewers being like, hey, y'all want a balloon?
Oh,
it's
no.
Like they call me it's all like they call me Swerve Strickland, orphan killer. You're like, what the
okay, that is about as few as you can get. Hey, Johnny,
like orphan maker. You're like, what the
Okay, this match, I mean, just seeing Swerve Strickland, I mean, it's good to see him. Like, he's very talented. He's a good wrestler. And I hope that he keeps wrestling more and more. Like, it'd be awesome to see Swerve Strickland his full potential, And then, you got the Prince Nana with the dance, But match itself is kind of like because I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like I know this was last minute, but I still felt like Dustin Rhodes was kind of like an odd choice for them to put. Like, okay, we gotta, I don't know, like for a pay-per-view, and I don't know. I just don't agree with having Dustin Rhodes as his opponent in this match. Like, it's just kind of like there, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird. It's just like it's just there, to be honest. Like, the match was just there, in my opinion. It was too last minute. It was a weird replacement. I think they could have, any other wrestler, I think, would have been better than Dustin Rhodes. And I don't know. It's just the way I feel about it.
Well, like I said, it makes sense because they were tag team partners at one time. Is this a bad thing? Is that if you're not watching like Dark in them, you're gonna like miss out on that. Or I don't know. I guess we're already on Rampage as a tag team. Because that's the thing. I'm limited to just watching Dynamite, so I don't know what's going on.
Wait, you know what they could have done? Okay, they had 20 men in that battle royale. They could have put Dustin there and yanked one of them out and put them against Swerve. There you go. problem could have been solved there. Dalton Castle versus Swerve with the boys. Yeah, I would have liked that. I would have minded that. Dalton Castle versus Swerve with the boys. I mean, it would have been a pointless match, but it would have been entertaining. Like Jack said, go full clown.
Yeah, that one, like we said before, that one's going to be stricken from the record because no one could have predicted Dustin. So we're going to move on to the next one.